What comes to mind when you see this person? What words, places and objects would you associate with them? We asked this question to a group of people. Some of them said vandal, thief, homeless, antisocial. Isn't that interesting? There's no way of knowing this person. In fact, you can barely see their face in this image, and yet, just based on the way they're dressed, most people feel like they can make a pretty confident judgment on their character, dreams and personality. Have we always judged people on the way they look? Making a judgment on who someone is by the way they look is not a new thing. Entire groups and cultures draw their identity from something in common they can all wear. Wearing a certain item of clothing can be taken by certain people as much more than just appearance. It can be a statement of who they are. Bow ties, tracksuits, shoes, hats. As a society, we've been fascinated with different styles of clothing. The UK high street fashion is estimated to be worth £44.5 billion, and in 2009, £46.2 billion were spent in clothing and adornment products. Divide that by the number of people we have in the country, and it's about £753 per person in a year. You're going to say that £753 doesn't seem like a lot of money. The problem is not that we spend too much money on clothes. After all, we do need them. But the problem is, when we define our identity so much in what we wear, we end up alienating entire groups of people. 25% of Scottish children live in relative poverty, coming from low-income families. Now, as these kids are growing up, they will only be able to afford a certain type of clothing and particular stores that fit their limited budget. So if we judge people's character and identity on what they wear, then what does that say about people who can only afford a certain type of fashion? Does it mean people can't afford to have their own identity? Fitting people into boxes like that leads to a destructive low self-esteem. People are affected by the way they are perceived. Emotions like laughter can be contagious, so prejudice spreads like a virus and affects the world around us. This lower self-esteem leads to poor health, high rates of crime, and even a lowered life expectancy rate. Why don't we look at things from a new perspective? It's time to look deeper and realise people are so much more than labels we create for them. Ask yourself this: how would you want people to see you? Don't we deserve to be seen for who we really are? The people who we love and the dreams we have, rather than just what we are simply assumed to be. Just looking at a person, all we see is their outer shell. But crack it open, and you'll find the seeds of 1,000 thoughts, ideas, emotions and dreams. Now these seeds are what define us.
I could be fun, I could be glum, I could be long, I could be submissive, I could be wrong. I could be foul, I could be loud, I could be proud, I could be insistent, I could be hard.